Hanukkah, oh Hanukkah, come light the menorah.
My friends, Bare Naked Ladies.
Let's have a party, we'll all dance the hora. Gather around the table, we'll give you a treat. Sit opening to play with that latkes to eat. And while we are playing, the candles are burning low.
Dan?
Yes?
Hanukkah starts this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Our friend Rabbi Eli Langsom's here. Hey, buddy, how are you? Stand by. I got the wrong microphone for you. Let's say that again. Hi, Rabbi.
Hi, good morning, and thank you again for having me back on the show. I see you guys are in the Chanukah spirit.
Oh, we are. And I tell you what, here's the deal. Can we, is this okay? This sounds corporate, so I don't want to offend, but you're our friend, and you've been our friend for a couple of years now, 2 or 3 years, and we would like to be able to say that officially you're the official rabbi of the Greg and Dan Show.
Oh,
would that be great?
Thank you so much for that endorsement. Yes,
that would
sounds
be super great.
Yes,
I love that.
I appreciate
I
that.
love that.
Thank you.
Hanukkah starts, and say it correctly. We say Hanukkah, you say
Chanukah.
That starts Saturday?
That starts Saturday night is the first night of Chanukah, and it goes all the way for 8 days.
We like to bring you in as an education moment. Because we're just running around here, and we celebrate Christmas. You celebrate Hanukkah, and I'm not sure I understand ever all the history of it all. Give us the short version.
The short version is that it was about in the year of 165 BCE, and the Jewish people at that time were living in the land of Israel. But the land of Israel were run by the Greeks, and one of the things is that they did, they wanted the Jewish people to go into their religion and believe in idol worship and things like that.
Right,
so what they did is they decided to they come into the Holy Temple, and they destroyed everything that was in there, including the very special sacred oil that the Jewish people had in the lighting of the menorah. Well, during this time period, there was a group of Jews known as the Maccabees. And the Maccabees set up to fight against the Greeks. And they miraculously won, which is a miracle that we always see, that the small number of the Jewish people overcame the big number of the enemy.
Right.
And when they came to the Holy Temple, the first thing they wanted to do is kindle the menorah. That has been something that Jews have been do every single day.
And what does that exactly mean? The kindle of the menorah.
The menorah is a candelabra,
right?
That has been set in the temple, and every single day was a custom for the priest to go ahead and light this candelabra.
Okay. All right, so that's the kindle. The kindle is the lighting,
right?
Okay,
the kindling of the menorah. Menorah is the candelabra.
Got it.
And the problem was that when they came to light this candelabra, they were missing this. They saw that the sacred oil has been touched by or been opened by the Greeks.
Got it.
And in order for the menorah to be kosher, the oil to be kosher for the menorah, it had to be pure oil that has not been touched.
I'm with you. Okay.
And still been kept with the seal of the high priest.
Okay.
And when they came to see that was already violated because that has been touched.
So what did they do?
So they went on a search, and they found one little jug of oil. And that jug of oil was only enough to last for 1 day. But the Jewish people were determined that they're going to light the menorah the first time that they get to the temple. And so they lit that menorah with that one little jug of oil. And the miracle was that jug of oil lasts for 8 days. And the reason why we say 8 days is because it took them 8 days to get new, fresh oil. So that oil, which was enough for 1 day, lasts for 8 days. And then at the end of the 8 days, they had a new supply of oil, and they were able to continue kindling the menorah.
And so therefore, Hanukkah is the 8-day
So therefore, Hanukkah
celebration.
is an 8-day celebration that we celebrate this miracle of the oil, which lasts for 8 days.
Now, what is the obligation to attend services, or maybe not? Do you go every day?
Okay, that's a great question. The obligation on the holiday of Hanukkah is that every Jew should light a Hanukkah menorah.
Okay.
Or candelabra.
Is it okay? That's a real a technology question. Is it okay to not use real fire? Is there such a thing as an electric with light bulbs so it's safer? Is that true?
That is a great question. And the answer to that is twofold. Number one, there's two parts of this commandment, mitzvah, so to speak, for the holiday of Chanukah. One is actually lighting of the menorah, and one is to spread the miracle of Chanukah.
Okay.
So, for example, we have menorahs. We're going to have menorah celebrations in many different places. We also have a menorah in the malls. We have and menorahs in different places in the Peoria community that we have outside, and those are menorahs made. We light with bulbs.
Right.
For that, we use specifically for the spreading of the miracle of Chanukah. Like I'm going to have a menorah on top of my car.
Awesome.
It's not going to be with candles, but it's going to be with bulbs.
If you did candles, dude, you'd be stopping all the time to relight those babies.
That
would be
drive really slow. That would annoy people.
But I want to bring out one point because it's very important on the question that you asked.
Yeah.
But to be able to fulfill the commandment of lighting the menorah, it has to be with candles.
Okay. So in your private service of your family or your church or your temple. It's
you can't
candles.
have an electric one. It's like an
aluminum
Christmas
tree.
I know.
I didn't know. I didn't know if that was blasphemous or not. It's not really blasphemous, but it's just not accurate. It's just not good.
Right, exactly. And a lot of people make that misconception that...
Well, that's interesting, though. The spreading of the message is different than the actual celebration in your soul, in your heart.
Well, the mitzvah, which we call is the commandment of God, is to light the menorah with making a blessing, and you can't make a blessing with lighting
All right,
bulbs.
so back to the question about going to services. Do you go every day then through the 8 days? Does a person do that?
That's a great question. You don't necessarily have to go to services. You can actually have the menorah in your own home, and therefore, if I may make a shout out to anybody that needs a menorah, please feel free to call our office and visit our website, www.jewishpeoria.com, and or 309-863-5613.
Will you deliver it if there's older folks who can't get out?
Absolutely. We would deliver it, hand deliver it, and we actually go visit people in the hospital, old age homes, people in their homes, homebound. And we go around to literally every day of the holiday of Hanukkah and making sure that every Jewish home has a menorah.
All right, let me ask you this. Now, it's easier perhaps for folks visually to recognize that you may be of the Jewish faith or rabbi, and so therefore I'm not likely to make the mistake to say Merry Christmas to you. Right? Would you say that's probably true?
You'd be surprised.
Really? But is it? Do you take that as an insult? I think most of us don't want to do the wrong thing. We're good people. We want to say the right thing to a person that might not share our faith or have a different background or whatever. So when somebody says Merry Christmas to you, what does that mean to you? Does that feel weird?
It means that the person does not really know that we don't celebrate that holiday.
But what do you do? You say something? Do you say something, or do you just let it go?
It's funny because my kids would some say we celebrate Hanukkah.
Yeah.
Like, or sometimes I say Happy Holidays are back.
Right.
Just they understand.
Depends on the situation.
Right.
Yeah. And it is good. Do you want people to say Happy Hanukkah? I mean,
sure.
You want to say the right thing.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Good.
Now, what other traditions are there? I think kids get a gift every night, right? There's a small gift, correct?
The custom actually is the traditional Jewish custom is to give actually money.
Money, okay.
Yeah, it's called Chanukah Geld. People have confused that with chocolate coins, which is also in the shape of money. But it's actually Chanukah Geld, which is actually money, real currency. And the reason is because we want to show the importance of celebrating this miracle of Hanukkah. And also, Hanukkah comes from the word in Hebrew as chinuch, which means education. So we want to present the children with gifts or appreciation for their Jewish education, and therefore we give them
that's interesting.
Money towards that.
All right, I want to learn about the dreidel in a minute. And by the way, thank you very much. You brought us a menorah that we can have here in the studio.
Sure.
Dan, you're in charge of that.
Okay.
And we'll get back and talk more with the official rabbi of the
And I want to know
again.
this may be a more light, but food. What the food?
Yeah, whoa, got to talk about
the food.
Oh, Hanukkah, come light the menorah. Let's have a party, we'll all dance the hora. Gather round the table, we'll give you a treat. See both the nymphs to play with and latkes to eat. And while we are playing, the candles are
Bring
burning.
it in on WMBD. The official rabbi of the Greg and Dan Show is Rabbi Eli. I like that sound, don't you, Rabbi? Don't you like being named the official rabbi?
That's amazing.
That
really, maybe I should add that onto my resume.
Please do. Feel free to use that to any degree you would like to. Celebrating Hanukkah. Hanukkah is this. It starts this Saturday. Runs 8 days. We talked about a little bit of the history. What's the dreidel? What's the dreidel about?
Great question. The dreidel is, as we call it, the spin top. It is something that the Jewish people used during the time period of the Greeks. Now, the Greeks, one of the things that we mentioned earlier is they prohibited the Jewish people to celebrate their holidays and their Jewish practices, and one of them is learning of the Torah. Specifically because it comes from God, they did not like the fact that the Jewish people are actually learning Torah. So the Jewish people always knew that that's the way we connect to God, so they did that even under the difficult times of the Greeks.
Okay.
Did the Torah, they believe, challenge their laws over them?
That's a great question. And the Greeks were very intellectual people and very educated people. They just didn't like the fact that the Jewish people believed that the Torah comes from God. You know, you want to learn it because it's intellectual, that's fine. But if you're doing the commandments because God commanded, they didn't like that idea. So therefore, the Jewish children decided they're going to continue doing it because that's what's going to keep us going. So when the Greeks did come to check out and see what's going on, they used to hide their Torah scrolls, so to speak, and they used to take out something which is called the dreidel and spin it and say, oh, we're just playing games.
And it was on.
And they were just playing games. So the Greeks like, what are you guys doing? You gathered together here. They said, oh, we're just playing games. We're not doing anything. And that was the way they were able to continue on their little trick, so to speak. So because of that, it's the custom Jewish custom to play the dreidel on throughout the holiday of Chanukah, which is interesting that on the dreidel there's actually 4 letters. The letter Nun, Gimel, Hey, and Shin, which stands for Nes Gadal Hayasham, which means a great miracle happened there, which means in the land of Israel. Where if you're in Israel, the letter Shin gets replaced with the letter Pei, which means Po, a great miracle happened here.
See, that's why I like having the official rabbi on the show. It's just unbelievable good information.
What about the food?
Food.
Oh,
food.
great. Well, first of all, you have to know that every Jewish holiday is always connected to food. You know, as the joke goes, they try to kill us, we won, and we celebrate. And we have that for the holiday of Hanukkah. We have that for the holiday of Purim, which is going to be coming up in March. We have that for the holiday of Passover. You know, the Pharaoh and the Egyptians tried to wipe out the Jewish people and did some terrible things. We will talk about that then. And we celebrate with food. And the holiday of Hanukkah is also very much surrounded around food. And the food that we are surrounded around is the food that is connected to oil, since the miracle of Hanukkah took place with oil.
Right.
So at every Hanukkah celebration that we do has 2 things there. Latkes, which is potato pancakes fried in oil.
Oh, love those.
Man.
And
love 'em.
donuts, which is again fried in oil.
Man,
So these are 2 things which in Hebrew are called suvganiyot and levavot,
very nice.
which means latkos.
We need like a Dunkin' Lafkas.
I only have
Get
30
coffee,
seconds.
and then you can get some Lafkas.
30 seconds for this answer or so. But do you get do the Jewish people hear the noise of Christmas shopping and all the things that we do over the last month of the year or 6 weeks of the year? Is that just background noise to you, really? I mean, it's out there. You are aware of it, obviously. You're in the stores, but you don't get caught up in it.
That's an interesting question. I mean, the other day we just drove by Black Friday just to see what's going on, and the lines were like crazy out there. And my kids were like, "What's this?" I said, "They got to do their shopping and everyone like that." So that's that's what people do. But for Jewish people, per se, for the holiday particular, that's not really that.
Yeah, so you're out of the loop on that. I mean,
Pretty much, I mean, we enjoyed the breaks. Don't get me wrong. I mean,
No, I get it.
sales,
Yeah.
we'll definitely run on that. But yeah, but one's if you have another 2 seconds, there's one very important thing. The holiday of Hanukkah is really about religious freedom, and that's very important to know. And that's why we spread the word of Hanukkah throughout any means we can, because I think that's an important message to
Sure
spread.
it is, yeah.
Even though we live in America here today, we have that religious freedom, and we should be able to exercise that.
Well, happy Hanukkah to you, Rabbi. And again, your website and your phone number for somebody who might need a menorah or just ask you questions.
Is www.jewishpeoria.com and click on the Contact Us button and let us know that you need a menorah, and we'll get it to you ASAP.
All right. Enjoy your holiday.
Thank you so much, and
Appreciate
thank you again for having me on the show.